Okay, another little task to do is to get an Ethernet cable down into the Ponderosa so I can extend the Wi-Fi signal. Now, as part of the build, you will know that I pre-installed some Cat6 cable which goes up into the attic. One of them cables terminates that orange cable. So what I need to do is put a junction box on there so I can fit the Ethernet cable in, an RJ45, and then I need to put a cable with the male connector on to run across, out, all the way down into there. Put another RJ45 male on to plug into the modem or extender down there. So I've got the Cat6 cable. I'll lay that now, cut it, and then I'll show you how I put the male ends on each with a special tool and a bit of info. Right, dilly dilly. Okay, so that's the cable I need. I've measured it down to the bottom of the Ponderosa. So I've now got the ends where we need to put on the RJ11s, not 45s. 45s are telephone connectors. So these are your RJ11s for the Ethernet cables. So basically I need to get that put onto the end of there. So this is basically making a bespoke Ethernet cable to the correct length. So simply just need to trim off, expose the wires with that. Slot the wires in the correct orientation and number, which you find that information off YouTube, and then use my tool to then make the connection, and then that's it. Simple as that. I've got a tester here as well, so I basically put the cable tester on. So this is the master, that's the remote, which detaches from that. Plug in my RJ11 in there, plug it in there, and then all that basically does is test continuity between all 8 cables, or however many you're feeding in, depending on what cat composition the cable is. Right, I'll get this prepped for the installation. Delete. Right, so you can see I've took the outer sleeve off and I've exposed the wires. They are twisted in pairs, so I've untwisted them and straightened them out a bit. Now there's various configurations depending on depending on what configuration you are, depending on where in the world you are. So seemingly the RJ45 pinout with the alpha is more used in Europe, and then we have the B pinout, which is more used in the UK and US. Never said the UK was Europe there, but there we go. So basically it's the B diagram. That's how I've wired my Ethernet ports as well to that configuration. So I need to make sure that I do the same with my male connectors. So with that exposed on its kind of backside there, so with the terminals visible from the front, and not that way. So that is my 1 to 8. So looking at that diagram there, starting 1 needs to be orange and white, then orange, etc, etc. So all I've got to do is configure these cables to that, and then I use the cut-off tool on here once I've got them lined up, just to cut them all square, so not one cable is longer than the other, and then I simply thread them in the bottom, making sure they're all lined up, and then I can use the crimping tool to crimp the connector on. Notice how I'm saying RJ45. I said in the last one it's an RJ11, and it's not. RJ11 is for the telephone, RJ45 is Ethernet, Cat5, Cat6, etc. So without further ado, I'll get this camera in the tripod, get these lined up, cut, put in and crimped on. Dilly dilly. Right, so I've cut the cable down as you can see, exposed the wires. I've got them in the correct order. It's a little bit fidgety. Just using my little pliers just to straighten everything up. So now the difficult part, you've just got to thread them into the connector, making sure that they all go into the right positions. So I'll just double check that all these are correct. Green, white, blue. So everything is correct. And I've just got to kind of feed it in, try and keep them all together. Oh. We don't cross over. It's a little bit fidgety as you can see. And hopefully they'll feed into the respective hole. Sod's law, they're not going to. Oh, here we go. It's just awkward, very awkward to get them to feed in. You get two cables trying to go into one slot, etc., which makes it a challenging time. Okay, I'll have to pause the video there until I get this all lined up, and then I'll show you when I get them lined up how I use the crimper. Okay, so managed to feed them all in now. You can see how the orange cable now has gone past and it's inside. I can see through that everything is lined up and everything's gone to the relevant pins. So I'm now ready to crimp. So you can see the tip or the teeth edges here. Yes, they need to go across the top there, and then simply push down and crimp. So I'll slot that in. We can see that's come nice and flush to the end there, within the tool itself. And when I push down here, that bit there pushes inside and crimps the cable on to secure it, and then the teeth parts push down on the metal poles and make the terminate the connection with the cable, like so. Simple as that. So that's that terminated, and I'm ready to do the next connection at the other end. Dilly dilly. Okay, so that's the cables connected. So the final test is to check continuity. So I'll switch it on. It does a fast check, and then if I want to slow it down, put it down to S. You can see there it's going through each cable, checking continuity 1 to 8, and it all works. Fantastic. On to the next cable, dilly dilly. Okay, just checking out my little Netgear ProSafe. It's a 8-port hub for my home networking. So we have the in-feed here from my router, and then I've got 7 ports out. I've got a temporary lead plugged in here, as you can see, which is sending data upstairs to the wife's computer. This is a temporary lead because this one is for the Ponderosa. So it basically goes up through there, through the ceiling into the little bedroom. All the other cables that I'd already pre-routed as part of the extension for all the TVs and basically a connection point for my computer, etc., and the Ponderosa. All them cables are routed up and they go out of the extension to the sidewall, up and into the attic space. So I was going to put this up in the attic, but I'm not now. I'm going to put it down here. And therefore I'll need to just get some female adapters so I can extend cable from here to go up through the floorboards, up through the small bedroom side of the wall, straight up into the attic space to connect to the 4 cables up there. I am going to be a port short. Could always do with extra ports. However, I've got 8, so it's something I'll have to just run off the Wi-Fi. Right, that's it for now. Dilly dilly. Okay, so just working on the computer room at the moment under the stairs. Just putting a switch in. So I've got a single Paris box there. Just cut the hole out with Ken's multi-tool. Spot on. Just put the cable through the side there. Yeah, these are just strengtheners because they come prefabricated double skin plasterboard. Yeah, so I'll just punch a hole through the cardboard down into the patters, put my switch on, happy days, screw that onto there so it gives me light switch. This cable I'll feed up across and get it to come out here somewhere in here. For this back wall here I've got my socket cable, which I am taking a feed from upstairs under the floorboards on the ring main. So I'll put a double socket on here behind, which will power the 8-way switch, and also the router. Yeah, so the sockets will go behind. This will get plasterboarded, but I'm going to have a piece of wood, probably, you know, MDF on here where it's screwed on, so I can take this off. This will house this and the modem, and that will just allow me in the future, if I need to do anything with these cables or run more cables, I don't have to break the plasterboard. I can just take that off, drop that down and have access to the cable and etc. Obviously I'll make it look nice and neat and tidy. Yeah, so that should be good. So that'll be the two double plug sockets there. I then need plug sockets down here somewhere for where the computer's going to be. So I've already marked out on the wall, table across there, a pull-out table underneath with the keyboard on, a screen on the top, and then I'm going to make underneath on wheels basically a storage cupboard that'll pull right out. So I'm going to do that half the width or half the length of this, so you can pull it right out. I might do a twin one where one's for shoes and then the other one you pull out separately, maybe I don't know, winter coats, etc. Either way, it'll be storage, so I just need to work out where to get a socket. So I want to keep the socket above here, so obviously I'm not interfering with the storage cupboards that you pull out. So I need to keep the sides here as free as possible. So I'll get that mounted further up. I could put a double Paris box on, possibly on this side, which would mean running the cable along the bottom. Yeah, which is kind of doable. It does have a wood support here because that's where the two boards joined. So I've got a piece of wood going down there. All that'll be blank, so I could get a Paris on there. I'll probably just have to chisel up to get the cable up. Yeah, either or, I'll work that out. Okay, that's it for now. Dilly. Okay, managed to get the cable through. So I've cut the hole out there for the double Paris box for the plug socket. Cable, so I've just used a fiberglass rod, flexi rod. Can't remember what I bought these for, but don't know. Anyway, I've got loads of them. So I pushed the rod down, drilled a hole in the bottom, and then, as we can see, just taped the cable to it in stages, so it went single cable, double cable, then the double cable and the outer sheath. So I just taped it, threaded that down, pulled it out at the bottom, grabbed it with my little pincers there, and then that was it. Just kept on pulling, and I pulled the cable through and broke its way through the cardboard inside. Then done the same going that way. Had to cut a bit of another hole out there where the wood joist is. That goes up there to join the two together, and then back through there and out. So cable's running down across, So I'll just bring them both up then. Same with the light switch socket across, terminated out there somewhere. This one for the plug socket will go into the plug socket that I'm putting on here. So that's where I'll get the power from for it. Great, right, get the double plug socket wired in and put on. Dilly. Okay. So the TV, once I've sorted this sitting room out, is going on that wall. So I've been cracking on and doing all the cable work while I was undoing the little computer room, if you like, under the stairs. So I've managed to cut a hole out of there. Typically I hit the joist halfway, so I had to cut some of that out. Anyway, that's sorted now. Yeah, punched holes through the cardboard again, down. I put a line on and then measured across again, from there across. Knew where to put my hole. Put me fiberglass pole down, grabbed it and basically pulled the cables through. So I pulled a coax, a Cat 6 cable and 240 power. 240 power comes up to this plug here, so that's where that'll get that power from. Yeah, obviously the Cat 6 cable and coax goes up, comes out the top, out of there, down, out of there, so that'll be plasterboard through there. And then I've got the ends to put on. Now you'll notice I've put two Cat 6 cables down here. The reason being, this is where my computer's going to be. So I'll have again another Ethernet cable there to plug the computer in. Right, so yeah, it looks a bit of a mess at the moment, but all the cables are now laid, so I can get the MDF board put on, get the plasterboard put on, and then that'll be ready to plaster, or just paint, depending. Yeah, probably get away with just painting it, to be honest. Coming together. Right. The other thing I've been doing was prepping this. So I sealed it all up with the expanding foam. Cut a perfect square out for new plasterboard. This is obviously where the old fire was. Yeah, so I plasterboard that up. I've been putting loads of filler in these where all the cables come through where the telly used to be. So again, sand them down and get them good. And basically ready to paint. One problem I did have, which I've overcome as well on the skirting boards. I did have 7-inch skirting boards on, which came up to there. You can see the yellow line of the paint, because it used to be like a mustard colour, bizarrely enough. When that was in the fashion all them years ago. Was it ever in? I don't know. Anyway, I was going to put the smaller sort of 4-inch, or the basic 2-inch actually, 2-inch skirt on with a bull nose. However, I would have to make good the likes of this, and when it gets on to here, there, I would have to sort all this out, and then probably plaster it, and then try and blend it into this. So I've decided just to go up to the 4-inch, 5-inch, which takes it to there. Yeah, so not as bad, not as high, but it's going to save us a lot of work. A bit more painting, right enough, but saves a lot more work on this, making good this bottom bit. So still plenty to do, but I'm getting there bit by bit. Dilly. Right, so we've now got a light. So we've got the light switch on, plug socket. Ethernet cable ready to put a connector on for when I've got the computer in here. To be fair, that can connect by Bluetooth, not Bluetooth, by Wi-Fi, but the hard wire's there, might as well while I was doing all the cable routing, etc. So I've got the downlight here. When I get the false ceiling in, that's where that'll go. and I used an old kitchen board. Well, it was a spare new board shelf off the work units. So I just used one of them because it's coated, so I've just got to clean the pencil marks off, etc. But yeah, there we go. So I've got the router there coming in, and then me little home network in there out for all the different ports. And as you can imagine, that'll all get plasterboarded up. And rather than hinging it, I've just put a screw in. Just take the screw, drop it down, got the plug socket behind where I've put in. Yeah, so you'll not see any of that. There's two Ethernet cables here with, I just need to put connectors on. I've got one port free, so one's dipped. Yeah, one is for the cable I was on about there for the computer, and one is for the Ethernet cable out here for the TV. Again, both of which could connect via Wi-Fi, because basically the Wi-Fi signal is just there, so we're not a million miles away. But it is good to have everything cabled in, just for future proofing and stability, etc. If we have any problems with the Wi-Fi, I can just swap ports with an unused one, because they'll not all get used at once. Right, great stuff. That's it for now until I get this plaster boarded out. This fibre cable here, fibre optic cable, can't have any 90-degree bends in that, so it's got to be loops, which it does when it goes in there, loops round. So that'll get basically a cable tidy, channel, conduit, whatever, across, and then follow the stair line down. Just get the thinnest one I can get, so it doesn't look too unsightly. Right, happy with that. That's it for now. Dilly dilly.